So the third demo is we've added a new preference called rule configuration, which will make it possible to, first of all, check whether we want certain validation rules to be applicable when the model compiler is generating the code. And then next step would be to configure the severity of these validation rules. So if we see here, I have a model with a class which takes an attribute with a default value, but this class does not have a default constructor where this attribute will be initialized. So in such a case, this attribute will not be initialized and we will get a warning message instead. Just build this. You can see this warning message here. Now there is a way to configure the severity of this warning message. When you go to Windows Preferences, Real-Time Preference, and C++, we see this new preference here called rule configuration, which actually accepts a comma-separated list of IDs with first letter as the prefix indicating the severity of the rule. For example, if I want to disable this preference, I have to give X0001. And if I apply and close, we see that this warning message will disappear. Just do a clean build. So we see that no warning message is printed now. Similarly, we can upgrade or downgrade the severity to error or info. So we want to move it to error. We can provide E and I for info or W for warning. We said that we get that message as a error warning now. I mean, as an error now. So we've only done this for this one particular rule as of now, and if for the next sprint we'll be doing it for many more rules. We've also added a command line option called rule configuration, which can be used to configure the severity through the command line. You see this option here, rule configuration, error 001. We've also updated the model compiler doc. So this option can be used for configuring which validation rules the model compiler should check. And then X is for disabling the validation, E for error, W for warning, and I for info. Yeah, that's all for me. Any questions from anyone?
Maybe you can highlight, Ishita, that the ID is printed in the message itself. So that is how you can know which ID that a certain rule has. So if you look in the UML developer console, you see after the severity within square bracket, the ID of that rule is printed.
Yes, we're also planning on appending an ID with every rule, so it will be possible to configure these rules. So here we can see for this rule, the ID is 001. And
yes, so that is how users will be able to tell whether a rule is configurable or not, because if there will probably be some rules that we cannot allow users to control, and then it will not be printed with an ID afterwards. So then you know that this rule you cannot configure. And as Ishita said, right now in this sprint release, there is only one check that can be configured, but there will come more in the next sprint.